Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Let's talk about Sasha, Brando, and Gladys for a moment. So Sasha just feels that she can just bounce back. It's a little bit of a whatever, but I'm gonna come back and I'm just gonna be business as usual. And I'm gonna keep my head, like. And you got Brando looking at her like, what? No, 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 no. There's no business for tomorrow, okay? You need to go to actual rehab. You need to sit there with licensed therapists or whatever, to deal with what you're dealing with. This isn't just, oh, it's just a little F up or whatever. I can just go back to work Monday morning. So she's arguing with him. She's arguing with Gladys. You know, I just want to take the time to be really impressed with the writing of Gladys. Okay? Been watching the channel for a while. You know how I felt about Gladys. Okay? It was the same way I felt about Stella. And they managed to turn her around. But with Gladys was a special kind of human being, we'll just say. Just very opportunistic, like very, like she had no problem practically throwing her own son under the bus so this way she can get what she wanted. Hell, even dealing with a dangerous criminal like Cyrus, I mean, it spoke volumes about her parenting skills. Okay? So, to go from that to, like, it's like you turn around and you're just like, when did Gladys actually start making sense? Hell, when did I actually start liking Gladys? So I gotta sit there and give a certain amount of props to the writers for turning a character that a lot of people don't like, and even when they did, she was just more of a joke. Or, we gotta find a way to make these two couples interesting, so we'll throw this monkey wrench, aka Gladys, into the mix. And actually turned into a character that we're like, she's, turned into a good character. Let's just put it that way. Like, Gladys is like, yo, listen, no, you can't just bounce back from this. Like, and, she also talked about therapy as well. And, Sasha was like, okay, well, I'll just go to a couple meetings. She was like, no, 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 no. What you're feeling every time you sit things, because, Sasha brings up the point of, well, that was a one-time thing and it was an extreme case. And Gladys is like, no, because you're going to be sitting there going through that for the rest of your life. There's always going to be some sort of trigger, and you have to learn how to deal with it. It's not just going to go away. So Brando tries to talk to her one last time, and, he realizes, like, yo, listen, you can't do this for me. You got to do this for yourself. On top of the fact that, he found out that when Sasha proposed to him, she was high. Okay? She was taking pills. Which makes me go back to my original statement. Now, let's just sit there and imagine. Oh, okay. Let me go back to my original statement about Gladys and how she didn't want Sasha to be with Brando because, at the time Sasha was using and things of that nature, and, Brando was a recovering addict. Okay? People, places, and things. Now let's just sit there and imagine they do a storyline where, Sasha is stressing him out and this, that, and the third, and he's just losing it. He's at a point where he may actually start using them. Can you imagine how heartbreaking that would be? for this man who rose from his recovery. And because she couldn't deal with her own stuff, bringing him down. Now, I'm not sitting there saying that, Brando should sit there and, like, cut her loose or just, call it, whatever. I'm just saying it would be heartbreaking to sit there and watch him actually lose his sobriety because he's so busy sitting there trying to take care of her and her sobriety that he's not managing his own stuff. Guess we'll sit there and see when 24 hours come up. Now, Sonny did wind up going to the hospital. He didn't get to sit there and see Sasha because, Sasha just was not in the right headspace. He gave some advice to Brando. And, Gladys was sitting there blaming herself because she was like, I can't believe we let this go this far. And Sonny was there to sit there and comfort her and also even say things like, Mike will be proud of you for you looking out for your daughter-in-law. And that right there shows just exactly how far this woman has come. Now, don't get me wrong, every now and then we'll sit there and see the old Gladys rear her little annoying head. But for the most part, actually turned her into a better character. Um, and she still keeps her little quirks every now and then because, reasons. So while Sonny and Olivia are trying to figure out who bought Carly's half, thinking it was true, well, it was Nina. Now Nina got there, and here's the thing that I would sit there and say about this overall. They both had some really good points. Okay? Both of them did. And, I can understand Carly's, her being sus of Nina's motives and drawing the conclusion of, you didn't do this to help me out. You did this that way Sonny wouldn't have to help me out. Because you couldn't stand the fact that Sonny dropped everything for her. And to be fair, she wasn't partly wrong. I mean, Nina wasn't there complaining to Valentine about Carly. And Sonny's not there dealing with her mess and everything like that. So she wasn't entirely wrong. And also Smith there saying, well, listen, you could be doing this for Wiley and things of that nature, yada, 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 yada. And it could be true at some point. But the one thing that Sonny said when he did sit there and see Nina was that you can't change the past. You can just sit there and try to do the best you can and move forward. You know, um, Carly got upset with Nina because she was like, "Oh, you had your lawyer, say that my son was like a woman beater or whatever." I'm like, I don't remember Nina actually telling Scotty to say that. Scotty went off script a couple of times, and that wasn't on Nina. Now, yeah, Nina did sit there and say, "Do whatever it takes to win," but you can't sit there and control a lawyer and what they're going to sit there and say. I mean, yeah, she's not a lawyer. She didn't sit there and know what can work and what can work. So I can't sit there and completely fault her for Scotty going off script and saying the things that he said. I mean, after all, Nina just sit there and say, I want to win no matter what it takes. But I'm pretty sure if she knew that was in his script, she probably would have been like, yeah, I don't know if you should use that. I don't think that that's gonna no. Um when Nina did sit there and say that she wanted to do it to try to balance the scales, make up for her wrongs, do something. There's going to be a lot of people that's going to really go in on her. And then there are going to be some people that's going to be like, you know what? She was trying. And, whether you know her true intentions or not, she did try. Whether it's for her own benefit or whatever, she did try. But at the end of the day, um, Carly turned her down. You know, so And this is why I mean, granted, I don't feel bad for Carly for a couple of reasons, you know, besides jeopardizing Olivia's portion, doing this without even telling her. The staff could be in for a rude awakening, depending on the other owner that's going to come in. So that's bad. And now she's sitting there crying in tears and stuff like that, talking about, oh, you know, I'm going to miss the hotel, and blah, 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 blah. And no, you made your own bed. The hell with you. And you know what? Can you imagine if, and granted, I'm using little real world tactics or whatever. Can you imagine if a new owner came in, started laying off like 5% of the workers or whatever, and then Carly just sitting out home pretty with a big fancy house and not really worrying about money or anything like that. So, all of that I do think about, with this whole Carly losing her hotel and why I don't feel bad for her. Now, Drew was not there blaming himself, and at some point, Sonny left. This is where I start to get annoyed with Olivia. Once again, they were going back and forth about Drew and, the whole deal and everything like that. One of the things that Drew said was, keep calling her Nina. Olivia was like, oh, well, you try to sit there and push Ned out the company, or you try to give him a position that he didn't want. And I'm like, well, at the end of the day, there was nothing trying to push out Valentine. So suck it up, Suck it up. I'm trying not to curse. Suck it up and just deal with it, okay? And when Drew's like, at the end of it, whether he wants or whatever, you can't be okay with him siding with Valentine. And you know what she said? I stand by my husband. Not what he did was stupid, it was wrong, and I called him out for it. No, 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 no. I stand by my husband and the idiotic, jackass decisions that he's going to make. And you know what? I haven't felt this disappointed since when he ran for mayor and that guy wound up causing a lot of damage. And the first thing, one of the things that Olivia said when Ned was running was that, listen, if you do some stuff that's wrong or whatever, or stuff that I don't agree with, I'm going to call you out. I'm going to keep you honest. And she has broken that little BS promise since that day. So when her whole, oh, I'm going to sit there and stand by my husband, is like, what? Loyalty is a great thing, okay? Loyalty is an amazing thing. But at the end of the day, you're not doing anyone any favors by not being honest with them, by placating to their BS or sitting there saying it's okay, let them do what they want because I'm going to stand by them because I love them. Because that's not really love. That's not love. Watching them do something stupid and then saying it's okay, that's not love. So Marshall and Curtis found a lead. This is after, or this is before, Portia was with there trying to get another schedule about that genetic counseling or whatever to make sure that Trina doesn't have schizophrenia or anything else. So they found a lead. They found the guy, but he hasn't been at work, and they're going to sit there and start searching from door to door or whatever with Taggart. So that's about it. Now, Portia was asking Marshall a couple of questions as far as, when did it start as far as your schizophrenia, like what kind of signs, what kind of warning signs, things of that nature. I kept just looking at it, I was like, I want to see how lightly she's going to sit there and tread on this questioning with Marshall. Oh, what you did was brave and stuff like that. So, when did you have your first attack or whatever? What was it? What kind of signs or anything like that? I'm just I just want to, I'm a doctor. I just like to ask questions like that. I really want to sit there and see just how light, she was going to tread on those questions. So I guess that's what Marshall and Curtis are going to do. And I guess we'll sit there and see which version of Taggart are we going to get. Are we going to get the OG version, or are we going to get the dollar store version? It's kind of up in the air. So after Trina and Rory kiss, Trina's just like, I'm not really sure as far as where we're gonna go because her trial is tomorrow, like literally less than 8 hours or whatever. Um, but Rory's like, yo, let's just live in the moment, and that's pretty much what they wound up doing. It was pretty as basic as that. Um, it was a cool conversation between Dax and Brando. They was they talking about them both being vets and serving and nearly dying and survivor's remorse and stuff like that while they were talking about Sasha. So that was a nice conversation. Now, towards the end, it was a bit of a confusing conversation with Sonny and Nina because at first I thought that Sonny was upset with Nina as far as buying the hotel. Um, well, all it was, he's surprised that she wouldn't sit there and think that your motives are sus. At one point, he actually thought her motives were sus, but she just kept to saying, I want to do this to balance the scales, sit there and try to give something back to atone something. Like, I can't change the past. I can't change all the crap that I've done. And, here's the thing. Well, everyone could sit there and go at Nina, and I've done that too, about the stuff that she's done. Carly has done some stuff too. Now, the reason why people aren't as harsh on Carly as they are on Nina is because the stuff that Nina has done is recent. Okay, don't get me wrong. Carly, once again, keeping that paternity from Nina is going to wind up biting her in the ass. And when she gets all the smoke, I'm going to be there with some sort of snack or ice cream or something, just enjoying every single minute of it. But, this is, again, why people are more harsher on Nina. She plays victim. She acts like it's not a big deal. And, people can sit there and say, oh, she tried to buy it to ease her conscience. Whatever the case may be, we can always sit there and look at somebody's motives and think of the worst. I try to be as somewhat balanced as I can, even with characters I don't like. And even with characters I do like, I have no problem saying that they're calling out the stupid, asinine decisions that said person has made. Oh, and also kind of confusing because Sonny at the end was like, yeah, I really want to be with you, and I want us to get us to go and stuff like that. And I'm like, he's been saying that for a while. Has she just not been listening? I feel like when he said that, it was like, you've been saying this since, well, for an extremely long time. I don't understand why he's sitting there saying that today was any different than him saying that when they were at Charlie's or, I don't know, somewhere. I feel like it's just the same conversation that they start having when they start talking about themselves as far as being together. It's like, what are y'all gonna do? You're gonna call each other boyfriend and girlfriend? What was this, high school? What are we doing? Where is this going? I don't understand that. Now I know this is a GH review, but the reason why I want to sit there and talk about this, you know, beyond Salem, because they got Steve. He's apparently he's actually been on a show before. I didn't know that. Um, and I honestly think that the actress that plays Hope either didn't know that or forgot about that, and they were like almost in the same year, nearly working together. I bring that up because as I'm sitting there doing my review and I'm writing down characters and stuff like that. Steve comes in, black T-shirt, black jacket, and it was so many times I nearly wrote Jason and I've nearly said Jason, and I'm like, I had to catch myself so many times. I don't know why he chose to wear those colors. He could have chose to wear any other colors he wanted. Okay, and don't get me wrong, he's been in different clothes, and this sounds a little weird to sit there and watch him in anything other than black, but it's almost like he specifically wore those colors, or well, that color and that leather jacket for a reason. And I really want to know what that is. Anyway, I feel like that's about it. Really dumb. So, with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And I'll see you in the next video.